Hello everyone, I am Ujjwal Saxena and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am back with another exciting machine learning project with this time, and the topic of my today's project is exploratory data analysis of the IPL dataset. I dedicate this video to completely to the cricket enthusiasts and lovers because today I'll be comparing different features of the IPL dataset. That means um, like the best bowlers, the best batsmen, man of the matches, you know, and many other features, and I'm going to represent them in a graphical format. So without wasting much time, let's begin. This task was assigned to me by the Sparks Foundation. The objective of this project is to perform exploratory data analysis, that is EDA, on IPL dataset. The dataset I got was from the Kaggle link. The link is provided in the description as well as in my GitHub link. So first I imported the libraries. The libraries that I imported was NumPy to perform matrix operations, and pandas to read and save the files, Seaborn for plotting, and matplotlib.pyplot also for plotting. First of all, I get the dataset using pd.readcsv. I have two datasets available, matches.csv and deliveries.csv. If you have seen my last video of the stock price prediction, by now you might be familiar with all the steps like feature engineering, feature scaling, and all sort of that. But even if you haven't watched the video, there's no issue with that. I'll be repeating and I'll be explaining each and every step. So after reading the dataset, I've first had I've used the dot head method to get an idea of how does my data actually looks like. So this is my data looks like: ID, season, city, date, team one, team two, toss winner, who which team won the toss, and then toss decision, the team who won the toss, what did they choose actually? Like RCB choose fielding when they were having a match against Sunrise Hyderabad, and the result, and then so on. Winners, who were the winners? That was Sunrise Hyderabad was the winner, and so on. All right, the venue where the match happened, Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, and then who was the Empire 1 at that time, Empire 2, and Empire 3. Player man of the match, who was the player of the match? Yuvraj Singh was the man of the match for that particular match, and so on. All right, then I read the deliveries. How does that actually data set looks like? Right? Then match ID, innings, batting team, bowling team, over, ball, batsman, who was the batsman at that particular instant, and then striker, bowler, right? And this is the way it actually looks like. So there are 21 5 rows and 21 columns. All right, I get the shape of them. That means 756 rows and 18 columns, and then right, this much rows and 21 columns. Then I get the information of that particular matches data set using .info. That means there are many non-null values. That means no null values are present in that particular matches data set. All right. And then deliveries.information, I get the same thing. I've just see guys, I'll be just repeating all the steps that I'll be performing for one particular data set. All right. So dot information is there. So similarly, no null values is present in deliveries dataset as well. And then I get the information like dot describe using dot describe method. All right. Dot ID, dot season. Season means the particular year. All right. The number of runs by which a particular team won the match. All right. Similarly, I use dot describe for deliveries dataset as well. Now I'll be merging the dataset, all right, and then I'll be performing exploratory data analysis, all right. So I've used pd merge to merge both the datasets, all right, and then I've got use head to get an insight how does my dataset actually looks like, combined dataset actually looks like. So this is the way it actually looks like, and then now the combined dataset has now become 5 rows and then 39 columns. All right. Now dot describe I've used to get an insight how does my data set, what are the values and total number of values are this much, and then innings are this much, mean is this much, and so on, right? Standard deviation is this much, and so on. Then now comes the time for data visualization, or you can say EDA. All right. So for first, I have used the season to get an insight which were the years that I have in my data set, and how number of matches which were played in a particular season, and each season represents a particular year. All right. So that, like in 2017, there were 4 matches which happened in a particular year. So all right. So this is the way I use PLT and then sns.conplot to plot the graph. I have given X label and Y label to plot it in this way. So this is the way it actually looks like from 2008 to till 2019. This is the way it actually looks like. As you can see, from 2011 till 2013, there were more than 70 matches which are actually occurred, right? And if you see, around in the year 2010, 2014, and 2016, the total number of matches were reaching around 60, right? So yeah, these were the number of matches which had actually occurred in a particular season, right? Now comes the time for to calculate teams which are played in each season. All right. So now here earlier I've just used dot season column. Now I'll be using season along with the team one. Right. Now I've compared and plot a graph with regarding to the both the columns. All right. So here it is. See, the steps are all the same. I've plotted the using dot title, then X label, then Y label, right? So this is the graph which shows that from 2008 till 2019, with the total number of teams which were played in each season. So the height of each plot, each bar plot, actually shows the number of teams which are present. As you can see, in 2011, there were around 10 teams which were there, right? And while in 2012 and 13, there were around 9 teams which were present, while in all the rest of the years, there were total 8 teams which were present in each game in each year, right? So now I'll be calculating and plotting a graph with respect to the places where the matches have actually occurred, right? So again, I've used the same steps: dot figure and then dot count plot using SNS, and then plotted given the title name, then given the x-axis enable a name using dot x label, then given a name to the y-axis dot using dot y label. All right, and here I've used dot venue as my first, and right, and the yeah. So this is the way it actually it has been plotted. So the total number of matches at maximum matches which have actually occurred was in Eden Garden, which is in Kolkata, right? And then Wakhande Stadium. The plot has been arranged in a descending order. All right. So you can arrange it in ascending order as well. You can just manipulate over here the code. So there are 1, 2, 3, and yeah, these many number of stadiums were present, and based on them, the total number of matches which had actually occurred in a particular place, I have arranged them using a bar plot. All right, like Buffalo Park has a minimum number of matches which are actually occurred around, let's say, 2 to 3 matches, right? Now I've be calculating the teams which were the winner teams which are in each season. All right, like that means from 2008 till 2019, the winning team, the winner of each year. All right. So for that, I've just assigned an empty dictionary, and before that, I've just taken 2 columns. Then that means season and the winner. And using a for loop, I just get the value of each team from each season, the winner team from each season, and use it, and then I've appended in each list. All right. So this is the way I did. After that, I've created using dot data frame. I've created a table. So this is the way how it actually looks like. So the yearly winning team is Rajasthan Royals of 2008, Deccan Chargers of 2009, CSK for 2010, and then CSK has been consecutively winning 2 years matches. So this is the way it actually looks like, and also like in 2019, Mumbai Indians was the winner. So now comes the time for categorizing the outstanding team which has won the maximum of the IPL matches, right? Out of these 11 years, maximum team which has actually won the matches. All right. So again, the steps are almost the same, right? See, only the column names we are going to be changing. So this time I've just used winner team as my um, feature. So this time how it actually looks like, yeah, Mumbai Indians have actually won the maximum number of times for like consecutively, not consecutively, but yeah, the total number of season. That means they have won 4 years. The Mumbai Indians have been and the topmost position have won many matches. Right. Then comes the CSK and the Kolkata Knight Riders and Deccan Chargers have been really quite a loser, right? So that means they have almost won only once in a particular season, right? And then now comes the now I'm going to categorize based on the toss that they have made, like from the data set, as you can see. Like see, like yeah, here it is toss decision, and based on whether the particular team has won the toss or not, and what decision they have chosen. So I'm going to use these two columns and going to plot a graph based on that. So here I've plotted a pie chart. All right. So decision taken by a captain after winning a toss. So it represents like maximum number of teams who have won the matches, who have won the toss. Sorry, they have actually chosen to be field, to take field, and then yeah, this is the way. Yeah. All right. So now comes the toss decision after winning. So right. So one of the things that most of the people think that if a particular team wins the toss, so are they going to win or not? So I've plotted a graph based on it to categorize this and show it and represent it in a graphical format. All right. So now this time I've used toss win match win column and plotted it. All right. So this is the way it actually looks. So, so winning toss and winning matches. So X label shows me winning toss and winning match. So this shows that teams which have actually won a toss, um, eh, and they have actually chosen to take batting or bowling. How many number of times they have actually won the match, right? So next thing comes out to be individual team toss decision after winning toss. All right. So this time I have taken toss winner as my column name for as my data feature, and then I have categorized it into this format. So this time, in the like Royal Challengers Bangalore, if they have chosen, if they won the match, if they have won the toss, then what did they actually choose? So this one shows that they have actually chosen 60 60 number of times they have chosen to take fielding, and batting they have chosen to be just around 20 times, right? And this is the way it actually looks like for each and every team. The graphs have been shown over here. All right. So most teams after winning the toss except Chennai Super Kings has mostly chosen to take batting first. All right. So now comes the time for the players number of players and how well they played in each match. So I'm going to show you the man of the match. I'm plotting a graph with respect to the man of the match, that is the player of the match, and based on the yeah, the frequency they have actually made the runs and taken the wickets. So this is the way it actually looks like. Top players with the most man of the matches. So yeah, like Chris Gale has topped the among is being the best player among all the other players. Like he has been more than 20 times he has been the man of the matches, and second comes the AB de Villiers, and that means he has taken he has been man of the matches for approximately 20 times, and this is the way it actually decreases, the graph decreases, and the last one is the Virendra Sehwag, who has been the man of the matches for around 11, yeah, 11 times. So now comes the time for the top run scorers of each IPL season. All right, so I'll be here grouping two columns, that means the batsman and the batsman runs, and plotting a graph with respect to their data sets, data points. All right. See, the steps are almost same in each and every step. I'm just changing the name of the columns, right? So here, um, yeah, Virat Kohli has maximum scored the maximum number of runs in total IPL matches, 11 years data set. This is all according to the 11 years data sets, right? So Virat Kohli is the top of the is in the top, and then comes the Suresh Raina, and then come in this way the graph decreases, and the last one stands the Gautam Gambhir, who has scored more than 4,000, but yeah, and less than all Virat Kohli and SK Raina and all these players. All right. Now comes the time for most top run getters are either openers or third, fourth position to batting. All right. Now comes the most consistent batsman of a particular IPL season. So I'll be plotting a box plot here. So I defined a list consisting of all the player names. That means Virat Kohli, SK Raina, Haji Sharma, and till Gautam Gambhir. Then I defined another list consisting of batsman season and total runs to categorize and make a box plot representing their values, right? So here I've plotted a box plot, and as you can see, as you can infer from the graph from the box plot that yeah, uh, yeah, since this value is minimum, this shows particularly best way of representing a value. So that means SK Raina, as you can see, this SK Raina so has is the most consistent batsman of all the 11 years IPL season, right? Now comes the time for the top wicket takers of IPL season. So I've taken here bowlers and the players dismissed and categorized and plotted a graph with respect to their values. So ascending equals to false over here means I want the plot to be in descending order, right? So here, SL Malinga was the best bowler who is also best bowler and also taken many um, wickets in a particular match, right? So SL Malinga tops it here, and then the last one comes out to be R Vinay Kumar. Now comes um, like also if you see over here, Malinga is the most number of wickets in a particular IPL, followed by Bravo and Amit Mishra in top 10 bowlers, while five are rest of most of them, the five of them are spinners, and while five are medium and fast pacers bowlers, right? So next comes the type of dismissal in all seasons of IPL. See, dismissal are kind of a caught or many other features are present in this data set, right? So over here, I've used dot dismissal column to represent the dismissal plot in dismissal values. So type of dismissals in all seasons of IPL. So caught is the maximum number of dismissal which has actually occurred, and then the bold is the second type of dismissal, and then run out, and then LBW, stumped, caught and bowled, and then retired, hurt, and hit wicket. See, retired, hurt, hit wicket, and obstructing the field are the minimum number. You can say approximately zero type of dismissal which has actually occurred in all 11 years in all the seasons of IPL, right? While the court is the maximum number of type of dismissal in all the seasons of IPL, right? Now comes the time. Now we will be considering batsmen who played most of the seasons, right? So I've chosen here batsman and then particular ball, and then I've counted the total number of values using dot count and then calculating there are some values. Now in order to avoid duplicacies, I've just used dot n unique value function to get only the unique values, right? And then I categorized and made a table using pg.frame and substituted the values in this format. So total number of season, the batsman who has taken, and the strike rate. Strike rate actually determines the maximum number of runs they have actually made, right? Now comes the time for Empire 3. If you see in the dataset, um, it actually looks like Empire 3 has many null values. So to get an idea, is it only null values or any other non-null values is also present in that dataset? I've used dot unique to get an insight, right? So these are the name of the all Empire 3 players. All right. So Anil Chaudhary was the third, and then Nitin Menon, then S Ravi, and there this many number of people were there as an Empire 3 in each season of IPL, right? And then I've plotted a graph of empires who empired in most of the matches of IPL in each season, right? So here I've taken Empire 1, Empire 2, and then Empire 3 and calculated their total values using dot value count and then sorted them in the descending order using ascending equals to false, right? And then after that, I've plotted a graph using PLT dot figure and then using SNS. Then I've assigned a title, then x-axis, I've assigned a name to the x-axis, and then I've assigned a name to the y-axis. So this is the way it actually looks like. So quite good. Let me decrease the, yeah, zoom in out, zoom out. So here it actually looks like this one. So S Ravi is the most you can say the he's the only umpire who has umpired in most of the matches, like say more than 100 times, or yeah, more than 100 times he has umpired in matches, right? While the least number of matches is the Subrato Das, who has umpired in around less than even 10 matches, right? So here's the way it actually looks like. Guys, don't worry about the code. I'll be just putting the GitHub link in the description of this video. You can get the code and get an insight of how exactly this working. All right. You can take the example of the comments that I've provided along with this each cell within each cell, right? So empires are this much. So this is my complete data set, which actually looks like this one. And then I plotted the graph with respect to the batsman and the strike rate, right? So this one. So the data set, the data which I've obtained over here, the strike rate and the batsman, I've plotted the graph over here. So this is the way it actually looks like. Chris Gayle has the highest strike rate, right? And then KA Poland has the strike rate of around 140. And as you could go sidewards, the strike rate decreases because I have plotted it in a decreasing format, right? And the minimum strike rate is of the STR Binney and AJ Finch, right? Now comes the total scoring runs over a particular season. So I've used a season and a batsman runs and calculated and plotted a graph using their data points. So here it actually looks like this one. So total scoring runs over a particular season of IPL, and the in each season the total number of runs scored, right? So this is the way it actually looks like from 2008. In 2008 there were around 17,000. You can say, yeah, 17,000, and then in 2009 there were around 150,000, yeah, and so on and so forth. So in 2012 and 2013 there were maximum number of scoring runs were scored in each season of IPL. All right. So highest total runs in the season have been scored in season 2013. So that's it, guys. This is the way it actually looks like. Uh, Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any doubts, you may please ask me in the comment section, and um, You may even follow me and contact me in the LinkedIn page. The description is provided in the description of this video. Thank you all for watching. Thank you.